What's up YouTube, just above average gamer here. Today I'm playing Black Ops Domination on Berlin Wall. My class is, I'm using the FAMAS as a primary, dual wielding pythons for a secondary. My perks are Ghost, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Hacker. The reason I'm playing Black Ops is I had some homework to finish last night, so I didn't really have much time to try and get a good gameplay for you guys. And when I was able to play, I was having some problems with my recording equipment. So here's my reserve gameplay from Black Ops, playing on Berlin Wall just after it came out. You'll notice later on in the video that this one guy keeps running out into no man's land because he doesn't know what's happening. Although I'm using the FAMAS, I end up picking up Dragunov with an ACOG that's also silenced, and an AUG with a red dot that's squared, and I think it also has dual mags on it or something like that. And I actually get more kills with that. I end up going at the end of this match 35-2 with starting off on a 25 kill streak. I don't believe I get any kills with my kill streaks because I'm using the spy plane, the care package, and helicopter. And when I call in my helicopter, he doesn't really do anything for me. So I'm gonna jump right into it. My topic for the day is, and actually the next few days, is gonna be guns. Today I'm gonna talk about pistols, and I'm gonna go through kind of the history of it, why I like pistols, what I don't like about them, and some stuff like that. So the first pistols were flintlock pistols, which were basically just shorter barreled versions of the muskets or rifles of the day. And those were around for a long period of time. They were used for all sorts of things, duels. Pirates used them in ship-to-ship battles and caravans if they were rich enough or had enough treasures in them, had guys with them to help defend their belongings. And if we fast forward a ways, we move towards more of the Civil War era, more in the US now, and the real change here is actually they started to make bullets. The old flintlocks used ball and powder shot, so that you poured the powder in the barrel, and then you push the ball down all the way, and then you're finally able to fire. And this process took a long time, and in order to make things better, they put all of that in one small cartridge, so you just have to load it into the barrel real quick, and thus the revolver was born. And the first ones were 6-shot single action, so you had to cock the hammer back, and then you were ready to fire. And the typical revolvers of the day used this new system, and one that really made it famous was the Colt Peacemaker, and that was the gun that won the West. And it was, everyone had one. It was just classic and a really nice gun. And then I believe it was Samuel Colt who made the first double action, so that every time you pulled the trigger, the hammer would cock itself. So there's no pause in between you're aiming down your sight and, flicking the hammer back with your thumb. You can just keep aiming down your sight and keep firing the trigger until you're out of ammo. And the next upgrade to pistols, and now we're getting into the 1900s. I guess I forgot to mention the time periods of the other ones. The flintlock was used from the 1600s all the way up until the mid-1800s, and the revolvers were used from 1800s earlier than mid until the early 1900s, and they're still used today, but they're not the weapon of choice for most people. The weapon of choice for most people, if you're using a pistol, is going to be one with a magazine. And the first pistol to use a magazine was the Colt 1911. Now the Colt 1911 is a very storied and impressive pistol, because even though it was made in 1911, many armed forces are still using it today. It was perfection at the first attempt, really. 45 caliber mostly, and just that classic design. Everyone who's watching this video probably knows what it looks like. If you don't, you should Google it, and you're just a little bit more knowledgeable about guns now, I guess. After a while, though, people found some minor flaws with the Colt 1911. One being that because it is such a larger caliber, it kind of throws off your aim with how much recoil it has. So, back in the 1970s, the United States decided for their general armed forces they were going to find a new pistol, and they held a competition, really, between the makers. And obviously now the Beretta M92FS won out, but there were others in contention. Glock made it toward, quite a ways into the tournament slash, challenge, I guess. And the other gun that was in contention for the new standard issue was the Sig Sauer P226, and at this time it was really only a prototype, and they made it specifically for this trial. And obviously it lost out, but now that they've had more time to perfect it and really just make it perfect and how they want it, it's actually the Navy SEALs pistol of choice. It's my pistol of choice. I actually own one. At the end of the video, please, if you want to see me fire it, or want me to make a video on it, leave a comment. I'll do it when I get the chance. I can't right now because we're not allowed to have firearms on school property, and I'm living in the dorms, so it'll be a while until I can make one. But like I said, leave that comment. There really hasn't been many improvements since the 70s, really, on the pistol design or anything like that, but there are still makers making pistols. I know the Heckler & Koch, or H&K, as you may have heard it. USP 45 is a fairly new gun. I guess now that I'm up to modern times, I'll go back and talk about some of the weird failures that I know of. Before the revolver, there was obviously the problem of the longer reload, and it's only one shot, so what happens if you miss? Well, I don't know who made it, or why they thought it would be a good idea, but some guy thought that it would be brilliant if you just made 3 barrels, one going in the middle, and 2 going off at 45-degree angles right next to it. Great. I think it was only used for poker games, when, you caught someone cheating, and if you were the cheater, you took it out and shot everyone else. And this pistol worked just like the other pistols of the day, the flintlocks, where, the ball and powder and stuff like that. And it was called the duckfoot pistol. And obviously it didn't catch on. One other pistol I'm going to touch on real quick before I wrap things up. I don't remember what it's called, but some guy thought it would be genius if you did something similar to that, where it's got 3 barrels, except they're all pointed forward this time. Since this pistol is in the revolver era, and it's got a 9-shot rotation, it has 27 shots available to it, and I'm not sure if you could fire it one at a time or all 3 bullets went at once, but it was kind of a failed design, and it looks really weird, and it's really heavy looking. Real quick, I'm going to finish this up. Leave a comment if you want to tell me something good or bad about myself. Like, favorite, subscribe as you feel. Bye.